We just returned from the welder supply place and we picked up a 15-pound CO2 tank and thought it would be a good idea to check the gas lines to see if we have any leakage going on. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is check the valves pointing down. That means that they're on. So Stan's just spraying Star San on those just to see if we'll see any bubbles, get any indication of leaks. And then it's going to go through and do all the connectors. Now, you see, Star San is bubbly anyway, but you should see active bubbles. But if you don't, you might just need to listen for the sound of the leak. All right, so I'm not going to show you all 12 because that would bore you to tears. But if we find one that's not secure, it's one that is leaking, turn this back on. All right, so we found one culprit, and I would just recommend that you mark it somehow. I'm not going to run back in the house and get a Sharpie, but indicate a Sharpie would be great because then you wouldn't run the risk of putting it back on another hose and then have just transfer your problem to another area of your brewing. All right, we'll continue. So we found another one that is leaking. I'm so glad we're doing this now. I would highly recommend that you do this so that you don't waste CO2. We found 3 that were leaking, and so now Stan's just going to switch them out. I would highly recommend that you either put them in your pocket or throw them away immediately so that you don't accidentally put them back on. But I also think it's a good idea to check them after you put them on, just to make sure that the new one is a good connector, because you can honestly you can get a lemon in anything. So I think that's what we're going to do. Test.
All good.
Excellent. Here is the cheesy little sign that I added to the Keezer. We know when we put the tank in and when we check the lines. We wanted to share this. Last year we did post a video that we thought we had a leak in the system. We didn't. What we found out, unfortunately was where we were purchasing our CO2 from, they weren't giving us full tanks of gas. But now we just go to either a reputable homebrew supply place or we go to welder supply. So we did that today because the homebrew shop was closed. And I will link that video so that in case you go through this big diagnostic situation like we did and you find no leaks, it might be your supplier. And that's one of the reasons we posted that video last year, was because after speaking to the gentleman who owns the homebrew store, he let us know that he had diagnosed many quote-unquote leaky systems just by identifying they weren't getting the CO2 that they thought they were. Thanks a pint for watching.